Music as a foundation really sets the tone for the game you're playing. That's why it's so important to listen to it when it is there. Imagine sitting playing a retro game like Mario and the music didn't line up, or there was no music at all. You see how boring that is? You can't tell me Rainbow Road is not one of the most iconic maps in gaming history on top of having a soundtrack that gives you a rush like no other. There are so many games that have composers make music specifically for games to have them sound unique amongst the rest. Martin O'Donnell working with Bungie on Halo, Destiny, and a slew of other projects. Hans Zimmer with Modern Warfare 2. Mahito Yokota or Koji Kondo, I hope I said those names right, but those guys were working on Super Mario Galaxy. Think about the video you're currently watching right now. There's background music going on, and if I take it away, it just feels like you're watching a TED Talk. I could be talking about the stock market or something random, but we're talking about video games. It's not all about a composer to make the best music, but just soundtrack lists in video games have to matter too. In my personal opinion, one of the best crossovers for a video game was having Riders on the Storm with Snoop Dogg and The Doors. Like realistically, who's gonna wanna sit and listen to Kelly Clarkson ripping up the track in Forza? No one's gonna be sitting there like, speaking of, we don't talk about that, for the love of God, but I'm out of water, so I need to take a water break real quick. I just threw water everywhere, even though it's literally droplets. But, future editing self, just get an extra or run an ad while I'm gone. I'll be right back.
Alright. Thank God he's fucking gone. Anyway, I'm Crollo. If you've seen Mentoess streams, you might know who I am. But for those who don't, I'll make it quick. I'm not a YouTuber or a streamer, but I'm a huge sports fan, sports photographer, sports commentator, specifically for hockey. And now that that idiot is gone, let me explain why sports games need to have good music and soundtracks. Because I can guarantee I can do it better than that fucking idiot. If you've ever played a sports game, whether it's Madden, NHL, FIFA, NBA 2K, Forza, hell, even games like Skate, there's always a soundtrack involved that is supposed to represent the game, the sport, and the player base. In a lot of older games, like for example NHL 2003 and Skate, the soundtracks were elite. Songs like Sweetness by Jimmy Eat World and Headstrong by Trapped on NHL 2003, and Surrender by Cheap Trick, and The Funeral by Band of Horses on Skate, are songs that represent a culture that revolves around these games. It represents the people who play them and the sport and culture it portrays. Modern sports games don't really do this anymore, and since 2015, the NHL soundtracks specifically have been absolutely terrible. There have been maybe one or two good songs, if that, in each game, but everything else is terrible, and the fact that it's agreed upon by almost all of the fan base that the soundtracks suck every year is a glaring issue that needs fixing. My belief is that the game creators and companies have really lost touch with part of the culture of the games, hence why the soundtracks have been bad recently for all sports games. There's a few games that have done it right though, with examples being Skater XL and FIFA 22. Skater XL, while not being a great game in all honesty, really embodies 2000s skating culture and music in its short soundtrack. It takes you back to the early to mid 2000s with some great songs that make you feel like it's 2003 again. With FIFA 2022, lots of the fanbase has complained for years to go back to a more indie style of music from like the 2012 to 2016 era, and the game devs listened. Indie music was a huge part of the game culture, and they finally made somewhat of a return this year with FIFA 22, but it still can be improved with even more inclusions of that kind of music. Either way, sports games need to include a good soundtrack because they represent the sport, the culture, and the people who actually play those games. Shoot, I think he's coming back. All right, peace out, everyone. I'm gonna be in the corner right over here.
I want the sandwich route. What were we talking about? Oh, video games. That sort of stuff. Think about the chase scenes in games. It's meant to get your blood flowing to try to get to the end of the level and not die. There are so many heroic scenes throughout games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West, the Uncharted franchise, Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed. There are way too many to name. In Crash Bandicoot, when you go into the extra rooms after collecting 3 Brio, Cortex, or Tanya icons, it gets you anxious with those special rooms. The first few are like, hey, you made it, man. Try to get those Wumpas and don't fall. Later down the line, it's like,
no more Mr. Nice Guy.
I mean, listen to the music. There are fighting games like Mortal Kombat, Super Smash Melee that have incredible soundtracks, and even today, some people may meme on those games for goofy music, but I guarantee if you played the Smash or Tekken music in front of a group of people, someone's bound to get hyped up. Games don't always need to be in your face with music. Take a step back and look at Minecraft. It is a block building game with some of the greatest music you can listen to. You could be strip mining in a cave for hours, lounging back, mining for diamonds, and not even be phased because the music is just so cozy. It's such a good game, and to this day, I could still log on from time to time, just like Skate 3. It has that replayability aspect to it. This leads me into games that could be more cinematic like The Last of Us or even the visually appealing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Looking out into the landscape with the music levels rising above to create the most picture-perfect scene. I mean, look at some of these.
I found the Jedi!
Even in those scenes, shit may hit the fan, but the music will chime right in and you know it's time to go. Telltale games, especially The Walking Dead, has you make some decisions, then roll the credit scenes, and you're so built up with emotion you don't even know what to do with yourself. Going from the music to what's going on in the game, the decisions you have to make, it's just all a mash-pash of perfection. Even going back to The Last of Us 2 with the ominous music before fighting Abigail, knowing something crazy is about to go down because once again, you hear the music levels rising and it just builds up this crazy moment. On top of the music buildups making crazy moments, you could also be relieved at some points knowing that the process is done, or even in horror games being frightened because the music level rises out of nowhere and it scares the ever-living shit out of you like a jump scare. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's, you guys. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you are brand new. Feel free to leave a comment down below of what your favorite in-game song is. Shout out to whoever I added as an extra, if there was an extra. Maybe there was an ad. I don't know. I don't know these things. I'm just a guy that sits down, records, and plays video games. But I'll see you in the next one. Sadia.
Whoa!